all the elements called format Here 15.
When I read that Derek Bailey book, I read a couple of improvisation. That's a good book, and I guess there's a whole school of like improvisers now. They say, well, we play improvised music, we don't play jazz. I remember in the last part of the book he was going on about how he thought jazz in a way had become like sort of like this sort of museum music, become very archaic. And when I first read that book in the early 80s, I kind of agreed with him, but after a while I realized that I don't totally agree with that idea. I mean, I like a lot of his music, I like a lot of that music they do, but for me, that still seems to be important. I mean, in terms of playing, having that rhythmic vitality, because I mean, to me, it's contradictory. Lessons, a lot of music doesn't have that too, But I mean, in terms of, it seems my own aesthetic, it just happens because I guess that's one of the things that made it interesting. I mean, it makes jazz interesting, how different people interpret time and how they place the notes. Who was it? I heard this interview on the radio once. They were interviewing Ray Brown, and he was talking about how he played bass behind different people, how certain people play right on the beat, certain people play ahead of the beat, certain people play behind the beat. And when he's playing, when he's accompanied, he has to make those decisions depending on who he's playing with and how certain horn players are more involved harmonically and certain horn players aren't. When he's playing, he has to make all these decisions while he's playing behind somebody. And that's part of being a good rhythm player, being part of the rhythm section is being able to make those, sometimes they're even conscious decisions, you're just responding to what's happening to you and having enough control to do that. So, I mean, the rhythm section in jazz is just like being a lineman in football or something. I mean, I was a big sports person, but it seems like, nobody talks about linemen, but they're like the bulwark. And it seems like in jazz too, like rhythm sections, that's one of the, you'll see if you play the guitar, the piano, or the bass, or the drums, a lot of times that's part of your function, is to, for the longest in jazz, the guitar was primarily it was like a rhythm instrument. It seems to me that's a constant in all the music you call jazz. Although there are certain people like avant-garde people or parts of who say swing doesn't matter. Or so that's an ongoing, I guess, debate. But I still like to have that in the music. Ornette still plays swing in his stuff. You can still hear the blues and swing and I guess in a way you might say Cecil Taylor, he plays like a certain kind, I guess you call it truncated swing, if you hear it a certain way. I mean, I was playing with the drummer who played with him, and he pointed out to me how it's there, but it's sort of implied more than stated because of the angularity. He only gives you part of it, but it's implied. I mean, the way I see my playing is it's like a how do I put it without sounding too just trying to play like a more contemporary version of what they call jazz guitar, I mean, something that's rooted in the tradition of the instrument, the tradition of the music, I mean, that draws on all the historical influences, but doesn't sound kind of dated or like you're doing repertory music, or it doesn't sound too historic, but it acknowledges, it acknowledges the gravity of history, but you're trying to move forward or stay contemporary, but still, having some awareness of where the music came from, and the important elements in the music. So that's what I'm trying to do.